Hi there. I'm Bob Wilk, and I'm a pastor here at Word of Life Fellowship and our Spirit School of Ministry. And today I want to talk to you about something that's very close to my heart and very personal. And I believe it's something that will actually help you and help you in your life. I want to start by sharing my own personal testimony. When I was very young, a long time ago, before I came to the Lord, I had a very interesting life. Grew up in a little bit of a hellhole called New York City, and a child of the 60s. And from there, my life pretty well went downhill, into drugs and all sorts of weird, interesting things. And it was nobody's fault other than myself and let's just say powers that are around us in this world. And the Lord's put it on my heart to share that with you because of His great power. And I want to let you know that when I came out of that, when I came to Jesus, that instantly He delivered me from that place. If I can't give you anything else today, I want to give you the idea, I want to put this in your mind, that our God is capable and able to help you right where you're at today. He did that for me, and let me open up to you and tell you I was not looking for Him. I had no real religious background at the time. I had been on my own and just doing my own thing. And through that process, I had come to a place, and it's almost embarrassing to say, where I hated God. I hated churches. I hated anything that had to do with God. Now that may sound real hard to you if you're just tuning into this and listening the first time, but that's the actual truth. That's how I was positionally with Him. I had no use for Him, and I was positive He had no use for me. And I just knew like there was no hope for me. And that was the place I was in. And I'm sharing that with you because I believe that many people are in that place today. You, matter of fact, in a different kind of hell. But I'm here to tell you today that like your personal hell, it does not have to be a cell. And let me tell you about that, because it was a cell for me. And no, you might be in addiction like I was. But there's so many other addictions in life that are not just drug-induced. They're really induced by our lives and how we live our lives. Matter of fact, something the Lord put on my heart just this morning for you was that a lot of our personal hells are actually because we are self-reliant. See, in my place, even though I was in a really bad place, physically, mentally, definitely spiritually, I still had this weird self-reliance. I just depended on me. It was part of how I grew up, how I lived, and that turned out to be a different kind of hell. So I'm reaching out to you today because I want to talk to you personally, because you may be a person that's caught in addiction, that's caught in trouble, or you might be a person that really has it all together. But no matter where we are at, we require God to be in our lives. What I want to talk to you about today is the fact, the reality, the absolute that there's a spiritual evil in this world today. It's alive, it's active, and most people have no clue that it's in their life or could it possibly affect their lives. And I'm talking about all sorts of people who don't know Jesus. And if that's you, I want to talk to you a little bit about my Jesus here as we go along, but that doesn't have to be the way you live and die. And also people who do know Jesus. Everybody is subject, according to the Bible, to a fear of death. I didn't say just death, but a fear of death and a bondage that comes with it. And by the way, that fear of death, a lot of people put that in terms of like, well, you're just afraid to die. No. Matter of fact, Your death might be a very slow death, and it might be the kind of death that requires most of your life to occur, where you don't actually ever develop into everything God sees you as. And we'll talk more about that. But I want to talk to you about that there's really a devil. And he really, now listen to this, he really hates you. And some of you sitting out there might be thinking, devil, what? By the way, some of you might be really great Christians who don't believe that there's a devil or that he has any kind of influence in our life. Well, let me make this really clear. There's a devil. He definitely hates you. He hates us. He hates anything that has to do with God or God's purposes. By the way, if you're an unbeliever watching this right now, he definitely wants to keep you in that state. And he wants to keep you in that state because of ignorance sometimes, and just because, if he can stay in the shadows and not bother you too much, but keep you in your place, he's won. We must recognize that this devil exists and that he has influence. Matter of fact, there's a power associated with him too, which I don't want to, lift him up and glorify him. There's a lot of people that do, but he has influence in our lives. And I want you to hear that. I want you to know that. I want that to sink into your soul as we continue on here. This really needs to be a time for you, for me, for everybody in the world for that matter, a time of what we're going to call deliverance. Some of you, that might be a word that you have no idea what it means, and we'll discuss what that is real quickly here. But the reality is there's a need for deliverance in our world. Let me make this more personal. There's a need for deliverance in your life, and there's a need for deliverance in my life. And what may I say, it must happen every day of our lives. And this could be your day. No matter where you're at in your life, this is your day. But you have to understand the need. You have to come to terms with the fact that I didn't say understand the whole situation, how deliverance works, how the devil and the enemy works. I'm just saying recognizing your need, recognizing my need. So what is deliverance anyway? It's at its root understanding. It's a setting free. It's actually a rescuing. Deliverance is a great thing, and a lot of times people really just pull back from it. Like, well, either they don't believe they need it, which all of us do, or they just are afraid of it. They're afraid, like, what am I going to have to be if I get delivered? How am I going to have to act? Like I was sharing with you when I came to the Lord and he delivered me instantly. By the way, let me continue my testimony here. From that moment, which was over 46 years ago, to this moment today, I have never been back to any one of those things that God delivered me from. The thing I could not do with my own power, I might have not even wanted it at the time. But God, he did that thing. And he will do and can do that for you. So back to what we're talking about. Why is deliverance needed? It's because of the state that we're in our life. Personally, how you are in your life, and the life of the world around us. I don't know if you've noticed, but our world is getting a stranger by the day. I don't think I'm the only person with this, view of the world, but it's true. And we have to recognize it. And by the way, you might be and this is part of what the Lord gave me this morning for you, is you might be one of these people that are very comfortable in life. And you may still be under the influence of a world that's just being completely overrun by the enemy and his ways. And you might not even know it. So why do we need deliverance? Why is it needed? It's because of our own personal lives and the world state at this time. It's a fact. It's true. Just look around. Just open your eyes. The other thing is, there's a fear that has entered our world. It's been a long time in coming. It's, been here at different realms all through the centuries, but now it has gripped the entire world. We can point to it, with circumstances that happened just particularly recently, but It's way beyond that. And that fear brings with this anxiety. It brings confusion. By the way, it brings condemnation into our lives. And by the way, this is a fear and that's run so rampant in our time that it's broken down, the essence of who we actually are in life. It's broken down who we think we are, and it's bringing such a warped sense of thinking into what normal people thought was right. And the real sadness about this is that by that fear, people don't even know they're thinking wrong. They actually still believe they're thinking right. They think things are sort of okay, but it feels uncomfortable. I'm here to declare to you that it isn't okay, but that there's hope. There's another reason why deliverance is necessary, because of the isolation. And by the way, it's straight up torment for many. I've experienced people who they're so isolated they haven't been able to be touched by people in their own family, people they love. And isolation comes in strange ways. It's mostly, I would say, in our heart, our soul. It's mostly how we think about things, but it can be very physical also at the same time. And that isolation is real, and it carries with it a torment that's so painful. You're so alone that it brings this thinking that brings despair. It brings hopelessness. And by the way, you might feel today that you're really relegated to that life of despair and hopelessness. By the way, this is one of the things, the ploys, if you will, of the enemy, that he brings us to a place where we actually feel like, well, this is where we are. There's no way out. See, I'm talking to you about hopelessness. I'm talking about despair. And by the way, what this does for some people is bring them to a place of such darkness that they want to take their life. That's where despair ends up. It's full hopelessness, no way out, isolation. You understand? I'm giving you just a little tidbit into where we're going with this. But that could be you, and that isolation could be happening to you not on the way that you would normally think about it. That isolation could be happening to you in a crowd. You could be very busy and be isolated. You could be just plain old isolated, obviously. You could be a person that's just stuck at home alone and has no friends. That's an easy one to identify. And if that's you, there's hope for you. But you could also be a person, like I said earlier, that's very self-reliant, has everything together on the outside, but in your soul, in your heart today, you know that there's despair. And you feel that separation. You might feel it from God, but probably you feel it also from people, because that's the enemy's work. That whole isolation work is to make you feel separated. And here we have this loving God that's like, no, you're my family. I want you here. You hear what I'm saying? I'm talking to somebody today. I'm talking to somebody that needs to know that there's hope in their absolute hopeless situation. Because that's the kind of God we have. So I want you today to have an expectation that you will receive deliverance as you hear and believe the promises of God. This is where we're going with this. You see, like I said, if you're resigned to being stuck, if you're resigned to there's no place for me, this is the way I'm going to be. And by the way, that is a very significant attribute when we require deliverance. When that's like the hallmark. It's like, this is who I am. We get to a place where we're almost in a morbid way comfortable with where we're at. And I'm telling you today that Jesus is able to help you, to rescue you. I'm speaking to you this by the Spirit of God right now, that his hand is reaching out to you, no matter where you are, no matter how hard this feels, no matter if you think there's no hope for you. The Lord just started putting things on my heart this morning for people today you're so isolated, you're so without hope, you think there's no way out, and God's here to say there is a way out. And he is that way out. Now, I want to just end this component of it with a really serious thing. There's a lot more video that's going to go on here from this point on. And it's going to help you. It's going to talk to you. If you go through it, there's going to be deliverance in it for you. I know that. But if you can't do that, if you just feel like I'm just not, this is enough, I just want to reach out to you personally. I want to say that there's help for you here. I want to invite you to contact us. You can contact us through our Spirit School of Ministry online. I want to let you know that there's help for your life. We want to personally reach out to you and walk this out with you. We do not want you to be alone through this situation. This is what's on our heart from the Lord. You don't have to pay anything. Just reach out to us. This is who we are. This is actually our assignment in the earth. And look, and this is part of what the enemy does. He robs from you what your assignment is. Our assignment is to reach and help people just like you. And we're here for you today. Just contact us. We'll reach out to you personally. We'll help walk you through wherever you're at. And it doesn't matter where you're at. We're here for you. I want to just leave you with this, that through Jesus and through his hands extended here on earth, that's us, that's you, that's who we are as people. There's help for you. And there's no hopelessness in that. So come on, reach out. We're here for you. If not, continue through the videos. You'll see God will lead you and he will deliver you.